A tragic night as two separate incidents, one leaving a woman and two children dead as they go overboard, the other a murdered Iraqi. I'm Clint Watson. The stories ahead in the Bahamas tonight.
Also, we've got the latest from the courts.
And the country with a new weapon in the fight against drugs. The Bahamas tonight, the National Report starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Everyday.
A woman plunges her car into waters off Monarchy Ram, killing herself and two young girls believed to be her daughters. Good evening, everyone. I'm Charisma Robinson.
And I'm Chris Saunders. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Now, tonight, authorities are still investigating what may have led to this tragedy, and they're looking to the public for answers. Meantime, as they investigate this triple drowning, they're also piecing together clues in a fatal stabbing off Arawak Key last night that claimed the life of a 21-year-old man. But the bloodshed did not end there. A restaurant manager of a resort is shot in an armed robbery as well. Clint Watson hit every scene on what has been described as the deadliest night of the year.
Police are hoping to find the answer as to what could have led a woman to drive her spotted blue Toyota Avalon car off the Montague ramp into waters, killing herself and two girls believed to be her daughters. The tragic drowning, according to Assistant Commissioner of Police Stephen Dean, took place around 10 o'clock last night. He says officers on patrol in the area were stopped by people on the ramp, informing them that a vehicle went overboard.
We got a wrecker with some assistance. We were able to pull the vehicle nearby. At that time, an examination of the vehicle revealed that there were three persons inside. We were able to remove from the vehicle an adult female and two small children, two females, children. The officers rendered CPR, but was unsuccessful. EMS came on the scene. They did additional CPR and tried to revive the bodies, to no avail.
Police were on the scene interviewing witnesses, but need more information, particularly into who these three individuals are.
We have no speculations. We have no motive as to what happened. And so we are in the early stage of our investigations.
As the car was being pulled away by a wrecker, ZNS News noticed a license disc was removed from the windshield. It is believed police may have protected the information as they pulled the mangled car from waters. And as police investigated this matter, they were called to Arawak Key for another homicide investigation. Our news team followed them there.
Two males got involved into an altercation. One of these men produced, which we believe to be a knife, and attacked one of the other males, who was then joined by a third, resulting in the victim being stabbed to the upper torso. He in turn ran a short distance away, where he collapsed. Officers responded to the scene, where they were able to take two adult males into custody. They're both now at the Princess Margaret Hospital being treated for injuries.
When our news team arrived, we could see the male believed to be a 21-year-old lying on the sidewalk just adjacent to twin brothers and feet away from the Arawak Key police station. Officer in charge of the Central Detective Unit, Chief Superintendent Paul Roll, says the altercation which led to the deadly stabbing would have taken place a short distance away from where the victim collapsed. And as though these two incidents were not enough, police were then called to the compass point for another incident.
One of the employee, had closed up for the night and was about to go and make their deposit when he was accosted by a lone male who produced a handgun and demanded the cash, relieved him of a substantial amount of money, and shot him to the lower abdomen. In the process, the assailant was able to make good his escape.
And despite a challenging night with crime, police say they remain relentless in their pursuit to address the crime dilemma in this country, but they recognize they can't do it alone. They're asking for the Bahamian people, residents, to partner with them to help them by reducing crime and by reporting any matter, especially those that are brewing before it comes to a boiling point. Clint Watson, ZNS Network News.
Police have charged 19-year-old Kevin Telesnord, wearing the orange, white, and blue striped shirt, with the March 6 murder of Theophilus Thompson. 58-year-old Thompson, an architect at the Ministry of Works, was sitting in a vehicle along with a female in front of a home on Padolia Street when gunmen approached and fired several shots before fleeing on foot. Thompson was hit several times and he tried to drive himself to hospital. However, he crashed and later died. Telesnord was also charged with attempting to kill Rashay and Nico Lundy on the same day. He was not required to enter a plea to the charges. Bail was denied and he was remanded to prison. He returned to court on May 11th for service of voluntary bill of indictment papers. Jurors expected to visit the location Tuesday where 17-year-old Enrico Major met his death. The teen was stabbed near the SC McPherson Junior High School last year. During today's proceedings, the court heard from 19-year-old Ken Johnson, who recalled the tragic incident when his best friend died in his arms after being attacked. He identified the accused, Kenneth Neely, who was sitting in the prisoner's dock, as the man driving the vehicle that he saw chasing after Major. He said Patrick was also in the vehicle, and he and Neely exited the vehicle to pursue Major, who ran behind a barbershop on Blue Hill Road. Johnson said he saw Patrick swing at Major. He told jurors Major's last words were, "Tell my mummy I love her."
Minister of State for National Security, the Honorable Keith Bell, today addressed the crime issue and situation today during debate on the mid-year budget in the upper chamber today. He noted that government has pumped much needed resources into the police force. However, authorities are still challenged by gangs. He said it's something they're addressing head on.
The intention of this government to deal with gang and gang activity in this country, this is part of the problem which is causing the major challenges in our country. The question of gangs, this question of guns in the country is very, very serious, Mr. Chair. I commend law enforcement agents for what it is that they're doing and what they're seeking to achieve. As a matter of fact, Mr. Chair, I'm cautious of these cases, but I believe that it is in the interest of public importance that the people must know what we are up against. That we have the capacity to stop the shootings. I know we have the capacity to stop the murders, the homicides, Mr. Chair. I recall, and I believe, and I argue, that we have to ensure that we just don't only arrest persons with a gun, we have to take it further now. If it means, and we know that the firearms are coming from the United States, we need to take the war to that country.
With the Bahamas frequently used as a transit point for illegal narcotics and firearms into the United States, local enforcement received a gift to assist in their crime-fighting efforts. That gift came in the form of a top-of-the-line vessel. Cleopatra Murphy attended the handover and commissioning ceremony.
The Bahamas has one more vessel in its arsenal as officials seek to bring a halt to the trafficking of illegal guns and ammunition in Bahamian waters. The United States Embassy Monday handed over a 41-foot safeboat Apostle Marine Inceptor to the Royal Bahamas Police Force Marine Unit. U.S. Charge d'Affaires Lisa Johnson says the vessel will help the force's operational capacity and interdiction exercises, especially after Operation Bahamas Turks and Caicos, known as OPBAT, had its most impressive year for drug seizure in 2014.
Our joint work in countering narcotics trafficking here is absolutely world-class. With the addition of this advanced marine vessel, I expect more record-breaking years. There's your challenge. At the very least, we know this plus-up of marine resources will act as a deterrent to drug traffickers.
This is the second such vessel given to law enforcement through the Caribbean Basin Security Initiative, a U.S. Caribbean effort to combat the drug trade and other transnational organized crime. Assistant Commissioner of Police Anthony Ferguson says it will help safeguard the country's waters.
This new modern boat will greatly assist with better patrols, with the interdiction, disruption, and deterrence of persons who would want to use our waterways for drug smuggling and crimes connected thereto.
Minister of National Security, the Honorable Dr. Bernard Nottage, says efforts to counteract trafficking can be costly. The Bahamas, he says, is doing what it can through the $232 million Sandy Bottom project, but says international cooperation is critical.
The government is keenly aware that its chances for success in improving the safety and security of its citizenry are hinged on the ability to collaborate with other nations seeking the same goals. This ceremony serves as a testimony to the governments of the Bahamas and the United States of America, to our commitment to suppress and interdict illicit drugs and psychotropic substances, as well as minimizing the impact of human and weapon smuggling in our archipelago.
It is hoped that with this acquisition, law enforcement will continue to make a dent in trafficking of illegal drugs and ammunition into the country. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Lux Men's Warehouse.